Okay, thank you. So next up, we have Adrian Kryon. He's going to be talking about mobile gaming infrastructure. His company, Spielworks, has created the very important Wombat wallet, gaming wallet. So anyway, I'm going to, without further ado, turn it over to Adrian. Thank you.
Hello. It's great that so many people actually have made it to the stage here. So yeah, my name is Adrian. I'm from Berlin. I'm the founder and CEO of Spielworks. We're the ones building awesome things like OnePlay, as you can see. That's a game rewards platform. And Wombat, a gaming wallet, we're currently integrating both into one app so that you can do everything from one place. We're actually specialized in bringing Web 2 gamers into Web 3. We've done that with over 2.5 million users. So if you're building a Web 2 or a Web 3 game, I don't think there's anyone building a Web 2 game here. Is there? Who's building Web 3 games? Cool, we should talk because we can bring a ton of users, we can bring you a ton of exposure to actual gamers, right? And today I want to talk to you about patterns of integrating Web3 and NFTs into games, into specifically mobile games, because that's something that a lot of studios actually are struggling with to decide what their way is of integrating with Web3, right? So the first thing is that integrating with Web3 is not like integrating with Web3. There's all kinds of different ways. And some people call their solution Web 2.5 because there's also like these intermediary steps, right? So, and where that makes a difference is basically in terms of what you gain, in terms of interoperability, in terms of maybe scalability, in terms of control that you retain, but also in like technical issues like, can you get listed on the Apple App Store, right? So the way I want to look at this today is by basically looking at who gets to keep the assets in the game, right? So the NFTs, the tokens, whatever. And there's two overall ways, right? One is that you as a game company actually run a wallet for your users. The other way is that you let your users connect with their own wallets, right? And then there's kind of total 4 different types of that, and we'll get to those and basically have a little discussion of where the pros and cons are in terms of the metrics that we're just discussing. So the first thing is what I call the caged chicken, right? It's basically when you run an online wallet for all of your gamers. Right? So it essentially means that whenever gamers want to interact with their assets somewhere else, like on NFT marketplaces or whatever, they would have to explicitly cash them in or out, right? So that also means that, that you're effectively a custodian for these assets, right? And most of the time, users wouldn't have the possibility of accessing their private keys. The second way that you can integrate with Web3 is basically what I call the barn chicken, slightly more open, right? Which is when companies, specifically larger publishers, actually run wallet apps, typically wallet apps, for their games. And so you can connect their wallet app with multiple games, and these assets become usable across all the games that are connected. Right? So typically all the games that are have been issued by this or built by this publisher. One of the examples, like the C2X wallet, right? The platform by Come To Us, all their games now connect to C2X, right? But you still don't retain, as a user, as a gamer, you still don't retain access to your private keys, right? And you will also still have to cash in or cash out from your wallet explicitly. The third pattern I call the free-range chicken. It basically means that games, specifically mobile games, run their clients in like Apple App Store, Google Play Store, but they also have a web app component to it. It's kind of a portal where you can manage your assets as a user. So you basically connect your MetaMask or Wombat wallet to that to the portal, and you can manage your assets, and then these assets become available in the game client, right? And the fourth is kind of the real open one, the meta chicken, when you basically have kind of a web-based game, and you basically directly log in with your MetaMask or other wallet into the web-based game, right? So that gives you the full flexibility in terms of the user can do whatever they want, right? They don't have to trust anyone. It's fully non-custodial, and so that's the kind of most open one. Now, if we get into the discussion of like what it actually means for you, then I actually realized that I have the most colorful slides of all people here. So when we look at what does that mean in terms of what kind of UX is possible in the pattern, and how easy it is to actually get listed in the App Store, for instance, because Apple are really restrictive about how you can handle assets, how you can make purchases in games, right? So they don't want you to circumvent in-game purchases or in-app purchases through the App Store, which is why they don't really like listing specifically the very open ones, like the free range and the meta chicken, right? So that's why they're very low on the App Store kind of likelihood of getting listed. On the other hand, the UX typically is much, much simpler when it's kind of a custodial wallet, when it's a built-in wallet, when it's something like the cage chicken or the barn chicken, when you basically just log into the game or the mobile wallet app with your Google account, whatever, and then you get to manage your assets from there, right? That's typically the easiest for gamers to onboard. And then we have the other dimensions where it's about how much control do you keep as a game publisher or game maker over the assets that your users hold, and how interoperable do your games become. And I generally like to talk about interoperability because I think that this is one of the biggest strengths of Web3 in gaming, right? We want to make games that have meaning in other games as well. So this is why you can probably tell from my naming that I have a bias, right? In terms of control, obviously, when you run the wallet for your users, you can, for instance, ban them, right? You can ban users and these assets will be gone. So it's basically like Web 2 with kind of a traceability on blockchain, right? So you get to keep full control over all these assets for as long as people don't cash them out, specifically when you run the cage chicken or the barn chicken. However, the interoperability is typically really poor because nobody can actually see what you have across game or across chain or across ecosystem. So all of your assets are basically stored in that one solution, be it the online wallet for the game or be it the kind of online wallet for the platform or for the publisher. So you have very limited interoperability. Whereas when you are in the meta chicken kind of pattern, then anyone can see what your gamers are owning and what they like, which kind of NFTs and other assets they have. And that can be very powerful in terms of what you can do in the future, how you can interact, how you can socialize over these NFTs. And this is something that we're really focusing on. So yeah, that's about it already. Thanks a lot for your attention. Come talk to me if you want a bite of the Wombat ecosystem, right? And have a good rest of the day and have fun at NFT.NYC.
Thank you so much, Adrian. That was great. Thank you.